it's always kind of surreal whenever you see someone from YouTube and you talk to them face to face, kind of like this.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. So this is definitely one of the most interesting interviews I think will ever happen on my channel for quite some time. So I feel extremely lucky for that chance. And how do you want me to describe what you do, or can you just do that for me?
Yeah, sure, man. So, in short, what I do is I run a men's sexual education company. So, what that basically is like I'm teaching men. This is the mission for the company. So, I'll give you the broad, like the overview of what we teach. So, men can have mind-blowing sexual experiences with women they care about, being the best you ever had
Mm-hmm.
inside and outside the bedroom. Now, what we're teaching men fundamentally, and there's two types of men before I go on a big tangent. There's one type
Yeah,
of
yeah,
man.
yeah.
There's the first type of man who's like has premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, maybe can't keep it up or get it up, and then he can't ejaculate during sex, and he has a lot of like nervousness and anxiousness in the bedroom. Or the second type of guy is like, you know what? I just already feel like I'm pretty good in bedroom, but in the bed, but they go, I want to take it to the next level. And that guy's like more from a personal development background and goes, you know what, I just want to be the best in this area. So I deal with those two types of men. Now the first type of man, I usually like they maybe came from the performance place and they go, you know, they're feeling anxious and nervous, as I said, and then all of a sudden they go, you know what, I just want to progress and learn some more stuff. So that's the type of guys I work with. I work with guys who are single or in relationships. It doesn't really matter, but I usually work with primarily men from anywhere from 25 years old all the way to 35 years. And it ranges even more. The oldest client I've had was 65 years old, but it's been
God dang.
absolutely phenomenal working in this space, man. And the point of difference that I do as well, it's not like some weird hippie, like esoteric stuff that doesn't make any sense. And it's not something from like 50 Shades of Grey where you're like, what is that hardcore BDSM things? It's just some
Yeah.
really practical stuff about sexuality that men can implement. So that's basically what I do.
Kind of random, but do you hear that kind of like high pitched noise?
No, I can't hear that. It's sometimes probably coming from my laptop. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I'll take care of that in post. But dude, I mean, what you are doing for man and the mankind is a goddamn blessing, dude. Like, we need to be like hailing you as like a prophet, man. Like, there's just not enough people like you around.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Like, is it because like men's sexuality is repressed in society? Like, do you think that like the fact that we don't see many people like you talking about things so confidently and so forwardly, like it's just not a thing that I've seen, I guess, in my lifetime. And the one like close example I think I have seen was back in college, and it was a female educator, and all she did was like show a photo of a vagina and say, "Oh, this is the G spot." Like that was it.
Yeah, there's a lot, man. It's I just saw there was a massive like disparity between like sexual education, what it is and what it should be, and I really realized that going, no one's actually talking about it to actually connect with this dudes who just really get it. Like, yo, we all have sex, we all talk about it, we all think about it, but the thing is, the education we usually get is like, here's the cucumber or the banana, roll the condom on that, and that's the only education we get. But it's like, how can you be really phenomenal in the bedroom? And it was an obsession of mine for like the last 10 years, man. And then as I started having these conversations with people, and they go, dude, I'm thinking the same thing. I have performance anxiety. I have stuff in the bedroom. And as men, we're kind of like, we're meant to know this. We're meant to know how to fuck and make money and know how to fight. And most men can't do all three. And what I do with sex, I just take the all the veil off it, and I go, let's come from a place of no ego. Let's just come from a place of humility and go, you know what? There's a lot of, it's a skill that you learn, and maybe there's a lot of stuff that we haven't been taught. And the thing is, when I first learned all this stuff, man, and I'm learning so much every single day as well about sexuality because I'm just obsessed and learning about it. But it's just because of like the cultural conditioning, our upbringing, like also religious beliefs. Don't have sex, it will fall off. All these types of bullshit things, these misconceptions will lead us to thinking that sex is bad, we shouldn't do it. But then when you actually do it, it's actually so pleasurable. But then your mind is saying, don't do it because you've been told all this bullshit. But then your body's like, it feels so nice. So I'm like basically getting you in harmony with your mind and your body. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's like more than just sticking it in and making everything better. It's like you're kind of working on the person as well, which is interesting. As the more I've been consuming your content, I'm like, oh, whoa, like it's not just, that position that blows her mind. It's so much more like, no, like let's figure out what you like and then how that transmits into like overall happiness and everything. But yeah, it's so crazy. It's like the society, especially like American society. I'm guessing you're Australian, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Here in America, most of us are like Catholic or Christian or something, and it's not discussed. Like it is like keep that shit to yourself, save it for marriage. And if you jerk off and your parents catch you, it's a bad thing. And it's like you finally have that awkward talk where your dad's like, "Well, son, just wrap it up." And it's such a weird conversation. It's like such a stigma around like a sexual conversation.
Yeah, and the repression is leading to like all this toxic expression of sexuality, like
Dude, yeah.
like doing it behind closed doors. Don't talk about it, but we all do it, and usually when we do it, man, it leads to fucking dysfunction in your relationship. It's like you finish school, we'll just say overarching. You go to school, you finish school, then all of a sudden you get the job, your dream job, and then you're meant to have this dream partner and you're meant to have the dream sex life. But the thing is, if you've never been taught this, how the fuck are you meant to know how to like first attract a woman, be able to maintain a really amazing relationship and give her an amazing experience in the bedroom where you feel sexually fulfilled and she feels fulfilled. But the thing is, we're just told, well, you're having marital problems or you're having sex problems in the bedroom. It's like normal. It's normal because you weren't educated. And the thing is, I want to say this to your audience and anyone who's listening to this, and I usually say this always on my podcast, I'm like saying, you're not fucked up and you're not broken. If you're a man listening to this and going, I have premature ejaculation, there's no one to talk to about this. There's no one to talk about this. Thank God that Bruce is here talking about this and bringing this to you guys so I can get this message to the world. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak on your platform to get this message. Because in short, man, for this, so many men feel fucked up and they feel broken, like they're not worthy of having a great sexual connection with someone. So that's why we're here, and this is why I do what I do, so men can feel like it's a normal conversation to have about sexuality, and they're not broken, they're not fucked up, and it is such a beautiful thing for two men, a man and a woman, man and man, whatever it is, to be experiencing.
Whatever it is for you.
That's it.
Yeah, and you're right. It's like that is a dream. It's like it's the girl, the job, and like fulfilling sex life. And specifically if your sex life is suffering and you feel weird about it or self-conscious about it or insecure about it, it transmits to the rest of your life. And like just figuring out that one aspect will make the rest of your life better. You'll be more confident to get that job or to talk to that girl because you could like lay it down and you know what you like and you know what she likes. And when you really look at it, you go, dang, like maybe this should be a conversation that is more widely discussed. Like it shouldn't be something that's just hidden for like a weird forum online or some guy's YouTube channel that has yet to blow up, which I'm sure your channel will blow up.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. And that's what I see. It's more like I'm driven by seeing the pain in men. And I'm like, I'm being the voice for reason when everyone is like shying away from this, man. Like, yeah, there's like tantric communities and there's like these hippie spiritual communities. And I know that's out there, yeah? But the thing is, it's too like out there for people to comprehend. Yeah. And then it's like there's too much like kinky, like got the whips and the chains, and people are like, dude, I'm serious, man. Like, I got my girlfriend, and I just want to have better sex, and sometimes I struggle to get her up. Or you know what? How can I be a little bit better, and we can both have more pleasure and more fulfillment in the bedroom? So that's the angle I come from, man. And that's where I see a lot of men where they're actually at, and having that conversation. Because why do we do this, man? Why do we go to the gym? Why do we get that job? Why do we go to university? We do this usually, so we can get that chick. And then we get that fucking chick, bro. And then we go, what do I do? And then that's what I don't get. It's like, that's why I say to these guys, like I deal with like some like sometimes really wealthy men or different like men from all different types, like all men around the world, man. Genders, cultures, like really, like doesn't matter what they are, man. Like I'm a crazy Australian. It's like cool just to like deal with lots of people. But like seeing that, it's all the same thing. They do this to find a really amazing woman who they can have a great connection with inside and outside the bedroom. And then when they can actually form that, then they go, fuck, it feels nice that I've got a really great job and then I can have a great connection. So some men, they go to war at work, like it's really tough at work some days. They go, oh, that was tough. Then they come back at home with their partner and it's war at home, so they don't know how to have this like really great connection. She's not having sexually fulfilled. He's not sexually fulfilled. And then men will cheat. go to other people behind the back or emotionally cheat.
Facts.
Or they're talking to the fucking secretary going, hey, they're not cheating physically, but they're cheating emotionally. They'd rather be at work, talk to like the PA or talk to like some just chick who's at the water cooler. And then all of a sudden it's like they get that fulfillment and then it's just this vicious cycle. That's why I'm like, I see so much pain and suffering and I want to alleviate that, man. That's why I get so fired up about this shit. So men don't have to go through that same pain, bro.
But that's why you're epic as shit, man. Dude, you get me hyped up, dude. That's why you're so epic, is because like you're right. It's like you have those spiritual gurus who are like, yes, just meditate and don't fap and massage your balls and you'll be sexually healed. Like it's the Tao of sexology. But then you have the people on the other side who's like, well, you gotta freaking put a cast around your dick and then choke yourself with a ball gag and then you'll be happy. And it's like, wait, what? It's like there has to be some like medium here. And it's you, dude. And it's you. And dude, look, man, I gotta spill, man. You actually helped change my life as well. Like just from speaking from experience with that interview that you did on the Playing Fire YouTube channel where you guys interviewed and you guys talked a little bit more about the whole pickup related community and all that stuff. You said something that I thought was so powerful. And you kind of mentioned it before, and that was, you know, that you're not broken, that something's not wrong with you. Because I had an experience where I had thought where, you know, we had a great date, things were going well, you know, we had some wine, went back to her place and everything was going amazing. And I just couldn't get it up, dude. Like I just like my dick was like on flaccid. And the thing is, it's like I was like dreaming and like visualizing just banging this girl's brains out, dude. Like just railing her out and she'd be hitting me up like nonstop, like, oh my God, let's hang out. But that's not what happened, dude. That's not what happened. What happened was we got to that point, flaccid, dude. It was flaccid. So I had like a complex and I was like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Like, am I just getting old? Is my dick just not working anymore? And then I heard you say, I mean, and then even to the point where I like started looking at like, should I get Blue Chew? Should I like get, you know, Viagra or anything like that? Like, is it my diet? Is it my working out? But then you said, you were like, you know, sex isn't just point A to point B. And I'm kind of paraphrasing here. It's not sex. It's not point A, point B. It's more than that. Like there's the run up, like it has to be an experience. And for me, that translated into, you know, like good foreplay and making sure that there's some sort of like tension and like really like showing love and kissing and having like an overall experience, not just like getting drunk, getting naked and just like putting it in, because that wasn't it. But when you said that and I started using it, I was like, the next time I hooked up, I used it and I was like, oh yeah, there is nothing wrong with me. I just wasn't approaching sex from the right mindset.
Dude, thanks for sharing that as well, man.
Yeah, man.
It's really good to hear like you know, you reaching out and getting on this podcast, me getting on your podcast and you reaching out going, hey, let's jump on there and have a chat, and saying it's already given you like impact in your life, man. Like just from like the podcast alone with Playing with Fire, man, and like that, man, that gives me goosebumps, man, knowing that shit. Like holy, like that's, do you know what really gets me hard these days and turns me on, man, is when I hear stories like this. And on average, man, I get one to two messages a day from dudes who are going, dude, you've changed my life. Or I walk down the street now. It's really surreal, man, because it's like I just feel like I'm a normal dude from like the suburbs in like Melbourne, you know, like where I came from, like the hood. And then all of a sudden, like all these years of building this up, and then people go, dude, you've changed my life. I go, what the fuck? I don't know you. And they're like tapping me on the shoulder. Like, I'm like, this is insane, man. So this is just another way that I can get this impact to the world, man. And just for you to have that experience as well, and for you to feel like, if I can really teach men about sex, like proper sexual education, and really make them feel that they're not fucked up and broken because of like the cultural stigma and shaming from society and the lack of education, I've done my fucking job correctly, man.
Yeah, because everyone benefits. The guy benefits, his ego benefits, self-conscious benefits, and the woman benefits as well, knowing that she's got a man who could take care of her.
And that's a big thing as well, dude. With this, I've been getting women refer their husbands to come to my events.
Wow.
That's when I knew I'm onto something, because which woman wakes up and goes, you know what, I don't want to have the best sex of my life today or have amazing sex. So they're sending some of their husbands going, go see this man or at least talk to him. I want to get some good dick, you know?
Dude, so like how did you figure out that you were a sex god? Like at what point, like did you know that you were like, yo, I got to start teaching, or even like setting on that path? Like, what was that for you?
Oh wow, man, it's a great question. In short, man, I just for like the
Let's
sex.
go in long. Let's go in long.
You want to? Okay, cool, my man. So I've been obsessed. Like I'm 29 years old now. I've been obsessed with like personal development and growth since I've been 16 years old. Yeah, like it's been just an obsession of mine. Like, and
what were you doing at 16? Like, what were you like? What kind of personal growth were you looking at?
just general stuff, man. Like I think like Think and Grow Rich, just like kind of like get a little bit of motivational things, get out of bed, like always like
Powerful stuff.
Trying to do that. Like I've had like a culmination, but it's like my main focus has been like dating, relationships, and sex. Like I don't know why, man. There was a fascination with that, and I just like, do you know, like I don't know. I'm paraphrasing here of like this quote. It's like smart, dumb people make the same mistake, do it over and over again. Smart people actually do a mistake and make a mistake and then they do something and then I'm fucking that one up completely. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
Leave that one alone. But yeah, I'll get back to that in a second. But it's like basically what it was. It was like wise people, intelligent people basically see something, they learn from smarter people and don't make the same mistakes over and over. So I'm like, I saw a lot of dysfunction in relationships. I really butchered that one, but you get it. It was basically I saw people who were smarter than me and then I just basically listened to them. That's all I was doing, man. So in regards to like personal development, I ended up doing boxing. I had like a fight. I ended up getting some caught for selling drugs and stuff like that. So all this kind of crazy shit, man. Like I always saw it as like street experience and life experience, opposed to just going, you know what, I'm gonna just like read a book and make it happen. But the journey of sexuality was an obsession about women, about how I can have an understanding about women, because I knew how important that was. And the stuff we said at the start of the podcast was like, how?
Like, did you have like a bad experience or something, and then you went down that path?
Yeah, man. Like for that story, I actually had a woman. Like, yeah, the drug story was this. Like, basically, I thought I was a bad boy, which I was just like an insecure little kid. I got caught for selling drugs, and then basically, after I got caught for selling drugs, man, I don't know if you heard this story. Basically, what happened was I had 100 hours of community service. And I didn't end up going to jail, which thank goodness, because the police rocked my house. They took the reason I'm saying this story, because it's like a brotherhood shop where they sell clothes. So I had to do 100 hours at this community store, which I'm like, fucking crazy, dude. And then in that time, the lady who was second in charge, she was looking over me and like taking care of me. She was like this lady in her 30s, and I was like, I think 22 at the time, and I'm like, whatever, you know, like 21, 22. And then all of a sudden she's like looking over me. Then what ended up happening, dude, she did this. She broke up with her partner and she ended up seducing me. I went back to her house and had sex, and she was like second in charge. I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, it was pretty fun. And I'm like,
when you're 20, the 30-year-old, you're like, oh yes, baby, I hit the jackpot.
I was like, this is cool. But anyway, I rocked up to her house because she's like, I'm sad because of my boyfriend. I'm like, cool, I'll get on the motorbike and I'll go to her house. Rocked up at her house. We ended up having sex. I thought we were just going to chill because she was sad about breaking up with her boyfriend. I rock up. She's wearing stilettos and all this dress. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, cool. She's like,
some grown woman shit. Yeah.
Let's get down to Funky Town. So we ended up doing that, man, and doing the thing. We had sex for about 2 months and I was still doing my community service. And then basically, it was crazy. She's like, you can't say to anyone that we're having sex because I'll lose my job. Then we're doing that. We're having sex. But then I found out as well, she was a sex worker, man. She was a sex worker as well. So she was like fucking sometimes 6 to 8 guys or more a night come back to the place where I was staying, and then we'd still have sex. So I'm like learning all this shit from her, and I'm like thinking, at that time I thought I was like the bee's knees and thought I was good in bed. But that was like going on for about an extra month. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the fucking boss. I'm fucking the chick because I just got done for selling drugs. So I'm a bad boy, and I'm fucking chick who's second in charge, who's a fucking like prostitute, and no one knows it, the dynamic that we have at work. So I'm just like walking around like I'm king shit. But I believe this. If you're not humble in your heart, because the heart is the center, if you're not in your heart and humble, the universe or the world will humble you. That's what ended up happening. I thought I was cocky, so I got caught. And when I got caught, basically, I was just being like an egotistical little guy. Like, yeah, I know everything. I'm fucking good, but I knew fucking nothing. And the thing is, what happened? She pulled me aside one day and goes, "This, you know what? Can I be honest with you?" I'm like, "Oh, here we go." She goes, "You're shit in bed." Oh, dude. When she told me I was fucking shit in bed, that fucking destroyed me.
That would
Yeah.
destroy anyone, dude. I've never had a girl look me in the face and tell me anything remotely like that.
Yeah, dude, that was like what everyone's like. What is the place where you got to where you are? That was probably one of the points where a woman told me I was shit in bed. And the thing is, I knew she was right deep down. I didn't have the awareness then because she was a sex worker. My God, dude, she knew what she was doing. I was like,
oh yeah,
fuck. But I always say this: when the mentee's when the student's ready, the mentor appears. And then like for like 3 weeks, I was like getting pissed off at her, and she was angry, and I was angry. You know what? Didn't last longer than like a month, you know. But then I go, you know, I have 2 options. What I can fucking do is this: 1, I can actually go take full responsibility, or 2, I can wallow. I wallowed for a little bit and got pissed off, but then I go, you know what? It's time to take full responsibility. Then I looked into absolutely everything I could about masculinity, sexuality, shit like this. I'll never forget this, man, and just like tie this like story all together. Basically, I'm like, you know what? I don't ever want to feel this pain ever again of feeling this shit in regards to sexuality, because that was painful as fuck, man.
Oh yeah, man, it is the worst feeling.
Yeah, and I'll never forget when I was 17 as well, a woman told me I was a shit kisser, and that fucked me like psychologically, so I know what guys go through. I was like, oh my God, I'm a shit kisser, I'm a bad person. And you like tie all this to your self-esteem, and like, it's a never-ending story.
Dude, isn't that so weird how when you're young and girls like put those complexes on you, how long that shit sticks with you, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I still remember this girl told me I was a boring texter when I was like 15. And ever since then, I swear to God, I've had the most animated text of my life. Like it just stays there like a goddamn, I don't know, like a sticky paper on a wall. It's the worst, dude.
Dude, exactly. Like I was 17, popping pills in a club, kissing some chick, fucked off my head. She said I was a shit sick kisser. No wonder, because I would have been like kissing her whole fucking face, man. No wonder I would have been bad, you know. But then I'm like, I'm a bad kisser with girls when I'm sober, and it's a nice gentle kiss. It's like the psychology is another fucking story. But going back to what I was saying, it was like I did that, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get this shit handled. Do you know what it is? I really believe you do this. You make a declaration to the universe or God or your fucking self, whatever it is. Like, I am gonna do whatever it takes to get this shit sorted, and that's what I did. And then all of a sudden, when I made that declaration, I found a masculinity coach, which a guy called Shay got me on the fucking right path.
Whoa, I never heard of that.
Like a masculinity dude doing like some epic fucking course with him, like learning about grounding yourself, sexuality. I'm like, holy fuck. I was still like, I knew how to get girls, but I didn't know how to fuck them right. I didn't think it was important. Then I never forget, he goes, bro, I got this guy in Australia. It's a different state. You got Melbourne, you got Sydney. He goes, go to Sydney, meet this crazy guy. He's he's one of the best BDSM guys in the country. I was like, he's the highest paid dominant male. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what that means. I rocked up to his house as a skinny fucking like Aussie dude, man. Like, and he's like, here you go, I'm going to teach you some stuff about sex. I'm like, cool. I never forget, man. I walked into a sex club for the first time with him, like a BDSM club. There was a chick hanging from the ceiling with rope. And I'm standing there. I'm wearing all black. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like standing like this.
Hanging from the ceiling with rope.
I'm like, for me, I'm like, that was all new. And I'm like, just like looking at this for like 3 hours going, where the fuck have I like stepped into? And this guy had 2 full suitcases of like 40 kilos, which is probably like 40 kilos of like, think about 2 normal suitcases full of sex toys. When I rocked up at his house, I'm like, what do you do with this, man? I had no idea what that shit was.
What?
So I'm seeing all this, man, and this is my education to sex. Then I'm seeing this, I'm like, this is some crazy shit. Then the education I got wasn't like this. Like everyone's like, how'd you learn this? Did you read a book? I'm like, I got this from like this guy, like this mentorship, and they're like dozens of mentors later on.
Wait, so would the BDSM coach like train you on a girl? Like he'd be like, this is how you.
Dude, let me explain this. So what happened?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's all right. That's all good. So what happened? Like all this, like he took me to the first BDSM club, and I was like just freaking the fuck out a little bit. Like, dude, where am I? You know, this is like some weird shit. Anyway, what ended up happening was like, he's like, I'm going to take you to the best fucking club in Sydney in 2 weeks' time. I'm like, cool. So I ended up staying up in Sydney. I was broke as fuck, by the way, there, man. Had no money, didn't know what I was doing with my life. All I knew was just I had to pursue this fucking path of sexuality and fucking understanding my desires and stuff. I'll never forget, he took me to the club, and there's like hundreds, man. There's probably about 500 people at this club, yeah? And there's people all around. And like walking around the club in like this, everyone's dressed up in these costumes. I'm wearing all black again. I never forget. he would have girls lining up to do like these sexual acts with them with like sex toys and stuff like that, man. I'll save you the nitty gritty details. But there was this one time, he had this girl bent over, like her ass was in the air, and then all of a sudden he started like using like a whip, having fun and doing all this shit. And then he's like, he's like, Andrew, get over here. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? There is about 100 people watching this as he's got sex toys in it and he's making this chick squirt. And he goes, I want you to hold her hair. And he goes, I want you to say sweet nothings to her to make her to relax. Because sexuality is about like also the psychology and then also the physical. But he goes, to get the woman to relax, to open up, sex starts in the mind. He knew, he had a really good sexual connection with this chick and he knew her. But he's like, go talk to her. So my sexual education was this. Giving this guy sex toys, holding sex toys in some girl's chicks, watching him make this chick squirt while he's spraying an audience with squirt, and then sometimes he'd spray me in the squirt while I'm sitting here going like this. And then he's like, say something to make her relax and comfortable as a joke, because he's like, that's what you say to get her really turned on. And I'm like, fucking, what the fuck do I say? There's all these people watching me, and then he's like making her squirt and like doing this other shit. And I'm like, you're doing a really good job. Like, and she just started fucking laughing because, you know, this chick is pretty experienced and I wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So all this shit's happening and I'm like, this is fucking crazy, you know? Fast
Holy
forward.
crap.
So that's always consistently happening. So I would get education by actually my mentor in the club, show me things, and then I had this with a few other mentors just doing this, people watching me under that pressure. Then I do for certain things and watching. So, man, as I said, in that world, it's kind of normal. But for me going into that, I had no idea, man. And then sorry?
Wow. Yeah, no, keep going. I don't want to cut you off. Keep going.
After that happened, that was a consistent thing going for years, man. And then I just started running my own sexual events, having multiple partners. And then I ended up running my own sex parties and things like that. And that's where I got started. I would actually meet women during nightclubs and during the day and then actually get them so turned on and so excited that to come to my own sex parties, man. I do shit like that, and I never heard anyone in the world do that because people could run sex parties, but I would actually meet women out during the daytime and get them so sexually open and comfortable that they go, I can't wait to come to a sexuality event to explore my sexuality because I feel so repressed. Did I get rejected? Of course I did. But then I'm saying, like, building that up from scratch. So I ran my own sex party it's called Phoenix, running that.
Wait, before we get too far, I have so many questions. First of all, what is a masculinity coach? I've never heard of that.
Oh, so do you know David Data?
Oh wait, I think I just saw some of his books.
Way of the Superior Man.
Yeah, I heard that.
So David,
he wrote the Tao, right?
I don't know which one that is, but the big book that he wrote is Way of the Superior Man. If you guys haven't read that one, that was a book that got me on my journey, and it's talking about like purpose, direction, what it is to be a man, like having boundaries. And it also covers some sexuality stuff. So I highly recommend that book. As I said, I have no affiliation with David, but he's fucking really. That was a book that got me on my on a good trajectory. So that started, man. It's like, because the thing is, we can even talk about this podcast. It's like, what is it to be a man? What is it, the cultural definition stuff? But that could be that's a huge topic. But basically, this guy gave me an understanding about, like, there's a book called Warrior, Magician, Lover, King, or something like that. You see that one, and you have the 4 archetypes. And then I went through those. It's like, how can you bring out your king energy? It's like you can be your direction. I'm really paraphrasing here, like very overview.
Yeah.
Like your king, how can you be like the leadership? Your king energy of like that grounded, loving leadership. That's what I've learned from one of my mentors. The warrior, it's like, how can you like be that? Let's get shit done. You're on the battlefield. You got to make things happen. Let's do things. That energy. The magician is kind of like, how can you like more trust your intuition, and like how you have like, they call it like the magic of like, you know what, you just feel things that are happening and you're trusting like how it feels. And then you've got the lover, of course. It's like that sensuousness and like also the sexuality part. So it's like, that's actually a book. That's another book. So the king, the warrior, the magician, lover. Check out that book, or The Way of the Superior Man. They're 2 amazing books to get you on the starter on this journey.
So the masculinity coach isn't necessarily like how to be. Like it's not like the what we think of like toxic masculinity. It's like how to be like a man's man. Like it's how to like carry yourself, how to move yourself, like how to be a overall complete person kind of thing. Yeah,
so I define it as this, man. Like I teach masculinity with what I do. So basically masculinity I see is this. It's like, how can you be the nice guy with boundaries, and how can you assert yourself in a way that's loving and caring? A lot of guys like, I don't want to be the nice guy. I don't want to be the nice guy because, you know what, I get walked over. But I don't want to be the asshole because the asshole fucking is the asshole and he just treats women like shit. But I always say this, the mix I always talk about is the nice guy with boundaries. How can you be a loving, caring, empathetic, loving human being and who like really is vulnerable with your partner and but then at the same time, you're like the nice guy with boundaries. So you can assert your boundaries. You say what you want, you say what you don't want. And because the thing is, when you do that, you're actually looking after yourself. Because sometimes men will just go, I'm just trying to do this to please the woman. So it's that paradox of like the nice guy with boundaries. So you love the woman, but you also love yourself. So then you have that like really strong discernment of like, you know what, this is who I am, this is what I want. And I have direction in this world. So it's basically having direction and purpose and coming from that place of love and coming from a place of benevolence opposed to coming from a place of like, I'm trying to force you to do something. And essentially, to tie that up, that's what dominance is. Dominance is leadership and dominance is love.
In dominance in like the general sense or dominance in like the sexual sense?
In both senses. A lot of people like the thing is, man, I actually talk a lot, like as I said, a lot. Like it's such a topic because people think dominance like you don't want a man who's dominant. Fuck it oath, you do want a man who's dominant. You don't want a man who's domineering. Domineering and dominance are completely different. So dominance is like basically dominance in short is like leading someone with love. So domineering is basically being a dictator of doing it because they don't want to do something.
Yeah, because girls don't want the male feminist. Like they act like they do, but they don't really want that. They want that guy to take the lead and to like be that beacon and to just be solid in himself and to be able to, you know, lead and give her that experience and everything. But okay, I had to ask about the masculinity coach because I never heard about that. But dude, you were rocking with the king of BDSM. You were with the Jesus of like tying people up. Like maybe this is like an Australian thing, but I don't know if we have sex clubs here in America, or maybe I just don't know of them. Maybe I don't know of them. I don't know. But what is it? Just what I think of? Is it just like a big club and everyone's like sexually liberated? Like, what is that?
Oh, yeah, so take a step back. So the guy, that was one. So with the tying up, my mentor wasn't doing the tying up. So there's all different nuances about sexuality in that world. So in America, it's a huge subculture of America, man. Like there's sex party, there's swingers, there's BDSM club. But the thing is, that's like sometimes so wayward and out there. And what I did, I took a lot of concepts from there and distilled them and really made them like really digestible for the normal dude who's like, yo, that's really well out of my world because I understand what it's like, man. I threw myself in that deep end so I can learn. And then when I talk, like have these conversations with you now, man, it's like, well, that seems way out of my reality. And sometimes it is. And most guys don't want to know about the sex clubs and parties. It sounds like a good fantasy idea, but most guys like want to have a cool chick they can have a great connection with and have great sex. And that's where I'm doing what I do. But yeah, man, it's actually all over America in a lot of ways. And what you do, I talk a little bit hippie, but when you actually like understand the lingo and you understand how people talk in that world, it's like you kind of like, you're in that know and you're in that click about how they speak. And then you're like walking down the street, you talk to someone and you can kind of have conversations and see how they're dressing. And that's how you can kind of understand that. It's like a new world, man. I had to get accustomed to that. But then I took a step back big time from that, ran my own parties, did that for 4 times. But I'm like, there has to be more meaning to life. And essentially how SQL, so if you guys don't know, it's like SQL is Sexual Quantum Leap, the company that I run. How it was formed is I basically was running sex parties, was showing guys how to make chicks squirt, and they're like, holy fuck, this is crazy. Then what ended up happening, man, guys like, yo, can I pay you some money so you can teach me the shit? So I ran this is the joke how the company was formed, man. I essentially formed SQL in my fucking lounge room. I call it like formed SQL in my lounge room where I got one of these chicks I was seeing and I was making her squirt in the lounge room while dudes were taking notes as I was giving her a massage, and then it just blew up from there as an international company. So yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah, that was over a 2-year process of like when it started, like the first workshop in my living room to like, as I said, doing international tours now, man.
Oh wow! So you've been on the SQL life, that Sexual Quantum Leap, just so people can hear that for 2 years now.
Yeah. So technically, I've been like doing SQL for 2 years. I've done a lot of sexuality teaching and training beforehand, but the actual company was inception when I made that girl squirt in the living room, and guys like, holy fuck, I have to know more about this. And then I started doing podcasts and stuff like that, and YouTube and all that stuff. So it's actually quite still infancy stages, but the thing is, I've been on the scene. Everyone's like, wow, you're so lucky, man. You get to travel the world and live the life you live and finger a doll for a living. I go, it's so much more than that. It's actually like been 10 years plus of looking into this and the trials and tribulations that I'm starting to pop to the surface.
Actually, now that I think about it, when you talk about like the subsections of that culture, I've heard of Aikibara before, the art of tying knots. I remember seeing like a documentary on that, and I was like, "What? This is crazy!" And they like followed the king knot tire in Japan, and he was like a celebrated guy and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, they're crazy, man. Like for me personally, I can't do a lot of not tying. Some of those guys have done that for like 20, 30 years, and I got like mentors who do that stuff. But for me, I just wasn't really that interested in like tying. I got like these Velcro straps and put it around the girls' head. But the thing is, that's why I want to bring it back for some content for your guys. It's like sexuality is purely subjective, and that's why I talk a lot about. It's like what turns you on is what turns you on, and there's no right and wrong. It's your sexuality, and when you can really truly be sexually expressed about what you like and what you don't like and talk about that, that is the promised land. It doesn't matter what you like, as long as we can get past that shame and guilt around sex. When you can express what you like, that's when you can truly be sexually fulfilled, and so can your partner.
Okay. Are you familiar with like I guess you are actually. Now that I'm saying, but I'm gonna ask the question. The pickup culture, like pickup, and I know the Playing Fire is like Tinder pickup, but are you familiar with the RSD guys and all those people?
Yeah, man. Like the thing is, I sometimes collaborate with some dating companies and pickup companies, because what they do, they teach guys how to get women to the bedroom, and then they're like, well, once you're in the bedroom, what do you do next? So.
Yeah, you're like the final piece that they need. It's like you guys are just like a match made in heaven. It's like how to get them and then how to please them. All right, let's go.
Yes, I do. I do some work with dating companies, pickup companies. I do a lot of stuff with those guys because it works well, But the thing is, this is the paradox, man. This is the fucking paradox. Some guys actually won't think about this. I don't know if you've been in this position. I don't think it was what you're saying before, but some guys actually won't go on dates with women. They won't take a woman on a date because they're so nervous that they might not get it up, or they might come too quickly. So they're actually stopping themselves from actually going on dates with chicks. They go, I'm not even going to go on Tinder. I'm not even going to take that girl on a date. I'm not even going to talk to that girl. Or I'm not going to.
I can see that.
Because you go, what? There's so much anxiety and pressure. And there's so much, I just feel like, basically, I feel like a piece of shit. I'm like worthless, because if I come too quickly, I don't want to have to deal with that tension. Or if I don't get up, I don't want to have to deal with that uncomfortability. So they're like self-sabotaging. So sometimes I'll work with guys before they do work with the dating company. Then when I do that, I'll work with you first, get over the premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, stuff like that. Then when you really have that sexual confidence in yourself, and you can walk up to a chick knowing that you're going to give her a better experience than 99% of men, it's just that inner confidence inside of you, and you know you can get it up and you can keep it up and last as long as you want. That's when you hold eye contact with the chick and she's like, who the fuck is this man? And then you're going on dates going, I feel so much more relaxed. Because in short, when we're relaxed, we can really function a lot more properly in our sexual function. When we're tense, it's going to be dysfunction. That's just really a really broad overview of that.
I mean, big facts. And all of these things, I feel like, are things that guys should be educated about from the get, like from a young age. And it's so crazy. Like when I discovered, I've been following RSD, and not specifically RC, but like pickup community stuff for quite some time, 10 plus years now. And so discovering you was like that final puzzle. And I was like, dang, why don't more guys know about this? And in saying that, it was taboo to even talk about. I found that out very quickly, that when I would even breach the subject with other guys, sometimes they would describe it as like, it'd be like, you're taking advantage of women. And I'm like, no, it's not what it is. It's like, it's an art form. Like, this is an art form. Like, what you do is an art form. What those guys do is an art form. It's a creative endeavor in some degree, in a lot of degree.
I see sex is this, man. Sex in essence is this. It's two bodies moving in a rhythmic dance. That's what I see sex as. When you really get good, it's not like you're just doing to one person, they're doing to you. You can really get to know the other person's body, and then it's a dance. The dancing, fighting, and fucking, it's all the same. And that's why I get guys who like do BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, for the guys who don't know. It's like you're doing that. You're grappling on the ground. You're doing all these moves. Essentially, it's the same, but you just have your clothes on. We actually have some guys who do that, and they don't get the correlation. They could be like purple belts or black belts. I've had like those guys coming in there, and they can like submit me in like 30 seconds, like or like 10 seconds.
Dude, those guys are savages, man.
They're crazy, but they don't get it when it comes to bed. I'm like, what I want you to do is this. It's so funny, man. A little story about this. I remember having these guys, and I'm like, what I want you to do is this. I want you to set up a wrestle date with the next girl that comes over. Because the thing is, some guys like think girls are all angelic and they're all just angels and they don't like to be like, it's just all like touch them gently. Like that's all part of it, and it is touch them gently. And everything I'm saying as well, caveat to everything, just to make it really clear, everything is done with consent. That is the bottom line for this. But with the caveat for this, it's like some women need that gentle touch and that caress, that beautiful fucking openness and like just really slowing down. But sometimes, man, they need to be ravished and taken, pinned the fuck down and boom. That's what they need, you know?
Put the suplex on them.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, it's like most guys are like afraid sometimes to do that. Now, we can take this conversation so many ways, but there's one example I never forget, like telling these guys this. I used to do this. I used to get chicks, and some of these chicks were hippie chicks, man, like on the outside, like, hey, it's just all about peace and love. And then like, yo, come to my house. We're going to do this. We're going to set up a wrestle date. You start on this side of the room. I start on this side of the room. We're going to have like pillows, doonas, blankets in the middle. And what we're going to do, we're going to charge at each other and we're going to try and choke each other out. And we're just going to like wrestle and rumble. Dude, I did this a dozen times.
You did that?
Dude, I've done this a dozen times at least with chicks, and what they do is this. They get so turned on because you're like wrestling and you're having fun. It's like they might have older brothers or younger brothers, or they might wrestle with their girlfriends, but you're showing them some great sex is like not even the sex, it's like showing that diversity and allowing them to be that full expression of who they are. Every saint is a sinner. Everyone who thinks, oh no, I'm just a perfect fucking princess, is usually most sexually repressed. We've heard of like the good Catholic person like going out there and having fucking crazy times, or the Pope with the fucking girls.
Respect women. No.
Yeah, and behind closed doors, it's like they're doing all this crazy shit. That's why I always go, yeah, I'm a saint, but I'm also a sinner. So that's when I'm in balance. And anyone who's like preaching usually so heavily about one side is usually the opposite side behind closed doors. That's why I always try and give people a really broad perspective of both sides of my personality. And then when they see that, they go, holy shit. So then I allow women to show me both sides of their personality. It's like that lady of the streets, freak in the sheets. And then they can be this like a really ravaging, like animalistic kind of woman where she gets to like really get, oh my God, I get to show this part of myself. And she gets so turned on. Then she can also be that little soft puppy dog as well. And you just give her like a nice gentle fucking caress and kiss. Then you give her that perspective. No, you give her that freedom and that non-judgment to be that person. And when she can do that, she's like, I fucking love you. And then that's when you can have epic sex, because she's not feeling judged in the bedroom, and she goes, you get me more than any other man, so I don't have to show just one aspect of my personality.
Dude, that's some next level shit. I never thought of setting up an aggressive pillow fight with someone before. Like that's freaking nuts, dude. Like just put her in like a little sexual headlock. I didn't know that was a thing, dude. You're gonna fuck up all my listeners. They're gonna start like suplexing their chicks, dude.
You can do that, man. Headlock with the chick. It's like you got her there. You just give her a nice little kiss, like, I've got you.
But I see where you're coming from. How that could be in itself. Like we don't do that. I can't say I've ever done that. You don't treat women like that because you're like told not to. But in the right context, in the right way, it's like you're unlocking something there. I guess that's kind of more primal.
The thing is, at the end of the day, man, we're two things. We're animal. We are a fucking animal, and we're also a spirit. You look at it from like animal. Like this is just an animal, dude. And the thing is, we like to get down and fuck, man. The thing is, I've had enough clients and experiences myself and my mentors. It's not just these chicks who just go, I just want to feel a cosmic divine. Usually those chicks are the ones behind closed doors who just need to be ground and pound, baby. And the thing is, of course they do all like the gentle, like slow eye gazing stuff, which I love doing as well. But the thing is, you're doing both. And the thing is, sometimes you might be in that mode, I just need to be like really touched and caressed. But then you go that you're really checking in with where you're at in the day, where she's at. And the thing is, when you can give that woman that experience of what she actually truly wants, not what she thinks she needs in her what she thinks she wants and needs, you give what she truly needs, should I say? Sorry, I'll take a step back. Give her what she truly needs, not what she thinks she wants from some ideology from society. That is when you're going to have an experience where women will start going, you're the best I've ever had. You're the most amazing fuck You're the most amazing fuck. I can't wait to see you again. You can do whatever you want with me, because you fundamentally understand that she's an animal who needs to be ravished and taken, and she's also this spirit who sometimes just needs that soft, slow massage caress. But both are coming from such a place of love and care. Doesn't mean like just because you're like doing like this like suplex, or you're like having this wrestling like date, that you're not coming from care. It's coming from a place of you're giving her a full range of expression and seeing her in both aspects, man.
Dude, Andrew, I love the way you speak, not just how much passion you have, but like you're not scared to just like say it how it is. Like when you say like ground and pound, and like you'll just say like pussy and all this stuff. Like I love it because it's kind of shocking. Like I'm not gonna lie, in a way, like it's a good kind of shocking that I realized, because it's like shocking where it makes, I'll talk about myself, like it makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, but you're like, fuck yeah, I'm glad he said that. You know, like it's just honest. Like, does that ever cross your mind, or are you just like so far gone from that?
You know what it is, man? People like, how do you do what you do, and how do you deal with criticism, yeah? Because you can imagine, I get a lot of love, and people like, Andrew, you're a sex god, you're a fucking Jesus, you're the next coming, all this stuff, yeah? But then I also get some criticism of like, dude, you're vulgar, you're too intense, I don't like your style. And the thing is, I believe in what I'm doing so much so men can have mind-blowing sexual experiences with women they care about. That's the core fundamentals. I feel like there's a guy called Dr. John Demartini. If you guys haven't checked him out, he's a phenomenal human behavioral expert. And I follow him, and he has this thing of like following your telos, which is your end in mind. I feel so lit up when I talk about this, and I'm willing to have the weight of the fucking world on my shoulders, but I don't even feel like that, because I'm so like driven to this, and all I want to do is speak from my heart and speak the truth. That's why I saw in this podcast already, like I was fucking up an analogy before. I don't care if someone is going to judge me on like those little things I did. I don't care. What I want them to do when they see this video, I want them to feel me. I want them to feel what I'm saying and feel the words, and if it resonates with them and it makes them feel uncomfortable, cool, I've helped you step out of your comfort zone. So then you can actually see the truth. And then when you've stepped out of your comfort zone, all I'm doing is giving stuff that I know has practically worked in my life and countless fucking clients' lives that actually works, instead of going, hey, just give her a nice kiss on the cheek and it's all going to be all right. And is it polarizing? Yeah. Am I polarizing intense dude? Yeah. But you know where it comes from? I genuinely fucking care, and I want people to get the results, because I'm sick of seeing men suffering and having not having the sex life that they truly want, and actually having connection with women that they want. And what's the alternative, man? Sitting in the room, masturbating the fucking bad porn, and being in like really shitty relationships with someone they don't care about, and then actually not being able to speak up and say what they want. So if this like triggers people a little bit, like I'm saying pussy and fuck, cool. Don't listen to him. But you know what? Maybe have a reflection, because you know what usually triggers other people is something that they haven't actually come to terms with themselves. Or maybe there's some truth that I'm saying that, you know, you might not want to fucking admit.
Big facts, my guy. Big facts. You said that perfectly. But what's your opinion on porn? Do you think that people shouldn't consume it?
With porn, that's a good question, man. So in regards to porn, with people consuming it, this is how people consume it, and this is the problem. When people consume porn, they don't watch like love making, like conscious people making love, like from start to finish and gently caressing and playing and touching, because that's boring, yeah? Let's be honest. It doesn't give you a massive dopamine response. What the problem with porn? Yeah, exactly. You might start off there, like, but then you're like, fuck that. What the problem with porn is, like, one aspect of is when people watch porn, it's usually they get fixated. Like, let's just say like an epic example, like say they like a blowjob scene. They might just go to blowjob compilations and just watch that same thing, and over and over and over. Then they have like so many tabs of blowjob compilations. So then their association with sex is essentially blowjob compilations. So no wonder there's erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. Usually erectile dysfunction, because the addiction is actually the addiction of seeing the same thing over and over again. But sex isn't like that. Just seeing a blowjob scene like that. It's like the kissing, the caressing, the petting, the sexual act, like the messiness, the flow. But the thing is, they don't see that because they're just like stuck on that, and that's what's arousing them. And then that's arousing, they're addicted to that one scene, which actually causes an addiction of porn. So they're not addicted to porn itself. They're addicted to that dopamine hit of that one scene, or maybe two scenes that they really like, and then that's where they go, I can't get turned on with a really hot woman in front of me because she's not doing this intense thing right off the bat, and then they put their pressure on themselves to actually do something. Then they have to put on condoms. They go, I don't like using condoms, and like all this shit. But in regards to doing porn, I always say there's sometimes you can watch porn. Number one, if you're making it with your partner, you can watch the porn back, because that's sometimes fun when you're both like, hey, let's do this as a fun thing. Number two,
yeah, it's different.
If you want to like actually just watch porn with a girl, like do it as a one-off, like an occasional thing. You can watch porn, but don't get like sucked into it. That's how you always get turned on. And I always like to say, when you watch porn, if you like, don't go just jump off it straight away. Maybe watch it more consciously. Don't just watch it like 50 tabs, and if you like you try and wane yourself off it. Maybe watch it from a start to finish and see if you actually do that, opposed to just watching one particular scene, because that is actually fucking up your neural pathways in your mind. I won't get too database, but you're fucking up your neural pathways, which is actually your connection to your sexuality, of like how you see sexuality. And when you see sexuality that way, then also no wonder there's so much dysfunction in regards to sex. So in short,
dude, yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, so in short for that, man, yes, definitely pornography is still having a massive effect on the way that we view sex, we view women, and then also it builds up a lot of insecurities when men see like these big fucking jack dudes with these big fucking cocks like this, and they go, my cock's not that big, I'll never be able to please a woman. Then they feel insecure that they'll never be able to please a woman if they don't have a cock that's big and they don't have the big and jacked with muscles. So it's a lot of like complexity playing out there, but it's more the dopamine addiction to the certain scenes that are actually more destroying a lot of men's psychology with sex.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Because if you're watching scenes of like some girl like super sloppy deep throat for like 30 minutes, and then you go to have sex with a normal person and she's not doing that, you're like let down or something. You're just like, oh man, sex sucks. Maybe I should just jerk off. And you're just like, you're right. And then you don't get that dopamine hit that turns you on. And then next thing you know, blah, 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 blah. And you're down that slippery slope where you're like, you've gone through like page 50 on Pornhub and you're sitting there like, oh man, nothing here is appealing to me. But there's 1,000 things that just passed in front of you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's what happens with guys. They go, why can't I get up with my wife? Or some guys might, you know what, I'd rather jerk off than have sex with my wife or watch porn, because, you know, it's sometimes easier to actually watch porn, jerk off, not have those conversations with my partner that I actually want to actually experience or explore this in the bedroom. And the thing is, it's just easier to go cheat. So that's why it's a deep rabbit hole. And then that guilt and that shame. And the thing is, I've been there, man, in the past of not being sexually satisfied with a partner. And I've gone to a fucking brothel, got a rub and tug just so that I wouldn't have to fucking have the conversation with my partner. I've been in the positions of not being able to get it up. I've been in the positions of coming too quickly. The reason that I'm like so advocating of what I do is because I've been in the positions that most men have been in. That's the big difference. Opposed to being like, and I'm going to say this like just straight up, there's some really great sex therapists and sexologists, but there's a lot of them that are full of shit who went to university, did a degree, but they haven't got the ground knowledge and they haven't actually been on the street level and actually gone through the fucking ringer. And that's why I go, streets. Yeah, that's it. Be in the streets, man, to make streets to the sheets. That's it.
That's the name of your next course.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, man.
Yeah. Next time, someone with a doctorate in sexual behavior tries to tell you how to have sex, be like, "Well, did you go to a sex club and see someone hang from the ceiling tied up? Because if you didn't, I don't trust you. If you can't make a girl squirt across the room, I don't trust you, bro. Because you know what? I know someone who can, and he got it from the streets."
Yeah, man. It's just like the application, man. That's what I always say. Apply. That's why I say, well, I really love when people hit me up, man. It's like, cool, hit me up about something you've applied for my podcast or whatever you hear me from. It's like, I put so much stuff out there for free, hundreds of hours of free stuff. I'm like, apply the free stuff, and if that changes your life and you want to take shit to the next level, then we can talk. But all I want you to do is apply that. That's why I put so much stuff out there, man. Like, even the videos on YouTube, you saw me, man. I got a ton of fucking videos of me actually going, here's some practical things. Do it tonight and let me know how it goes and send me an email, because I love hearing back from people.
I did, and here we are in this podcast.
And thank you, man. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad. Hopefully this is the flow-on effect, you know, like the next person reaches out so we can keep helping more people's lives. And that's why I'm here, man. That's why I get lit up when people go, let's do podcasts, and we had an initial chat. I'm like, dude, I want to be here because I fucking love the vibe and I want to get this message to the world. I'm not going to stop until every fucking dude basically gets annoyed with my Australian accent or actually has a great sex life.
I'm sure it'll be the first, because no one will ever get annoyed at having a great sex life. Dude, I'm sure you've read the Karma Sutra. In the Karma Sutra, the bed they describe to have is literally the bed you have behind you.
Is it? Yeah, man. I'm actually in Bali at the moment. It's quite ironic. Like, it looks like a Let me see if I can get this without.
Yeah, like in the book, they're like, you need to have a bed with fresh white linens and like something about that height. And then they say you got to have the white mosquito nets going around the bed, and you literally have that bed.
It's all part of the show, man. I just hired this place just so that we can have this interview.
Dude, what the hell are you doing in Bali, man?
Dude, well, it's pretty much lockdown, man. So it's like I pretty much like I don't have a home. All I do now is just travel the world and teach sexuality and run retreats. So I just based out in Bali for a little bit because I got some really good people here and
Nice.
Fuck, man, it's like I've got like a private chef at the moment and got a really nice villa, so it's really awesome, and got this girl that I'm seeing here. So life's pretty sweet here, man, at the moment. And yeah, that's really all I do, man. As I said, like how you met me, I just keep doing YouTube vids and just keep doing podcasts. That's all I want to do. That's all I do in my life now, man. Just do the coaching.
I love that, man. The content. Wait, I'm not gonna lie, man. When I look at YouTube videos, I have no idea how they don't get taken down, and I don't mean that because I want them to get taken down. I mean it because they're so visceral and raw. I'm just like, did he really just use the word pussy in the title and like talk about squeezing breasts? I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not appropriate, but you get away with it. What the hell are you doing?
Well, I hope, man, the thing is, you never know, dude. Like, I've been banned from Facebook, from YouTube. Oh, no, sorry, not from YouTube, from Facebook multiple times. So I hope it's not a matter of time before I get banned, because you know what? I put a lot of effort into doing that. And like, I hope like,
not either.
And that's the thing is like, I'm like trying to play between those fine lines. I used to have this, man. I used to do on, this is when like things started to really take off for SQL. I used to do this thing called a Hallie a day, which is the sex doll. A Hallie a day keeps the hookers away. So it was like this little joke of like, I have this sex doll and I do like 21 days challenge of 21 tips on how to actually finger a woman. So then like, I do this day and I do one technique. I go try it with a partner or a girl you're seeing. And I get guys commenting from the day before. And then like the same. And like I just do this spawn effect. And I think it's day 7 or day 8, I got banned, even though it was a fake doll and Facebook didn't like it. So man, I was getting a lot of traction by me putting up the doll and me doing techniques. And the only way that people can actually see that stuff is like on the website now, because I can't actually put that up on social medias, you know? I wish I could, man. I would put a ton more content on Facebook and stuff of me like doing stuff with the doll, things like this, man. So there's a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, it sucks because it's such a great resource. It's like maybe you have to be like, YouTube, this is educational. Please don't flag this. This is educational, because there's literally a video on YouTube where you can watch a guy shave a girl's vagina. Like you can literally watch him shave it clean. And it's like medical.
What?
Dude, I swear to God, someone showed me this one time. I was like, wait, is this real? Is this YouTube? He was like, yeah, man, it's this guy just literally shaving it because it's like related to some medical page that they're on. I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
So it gives me hope for you, man. It gives me hope for you. But like when you like do you ever get like tired of sex? Like it's like all you do now. Like when you approach like a situation, I guess you mentioned you have a partner. Like I imagine there's a lot of pressure on you now.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, because when I say, like, think about this, like my branding's pretty strong in the way that I go, I'm going to teach you how to be the best a woman's had inside and outside the bedroom. That's a big claim, you know? Like, so men can have mind-blowing sexual experiences with women they care about. Yeah. And then when women but the thing is, when I've got hundreds of reviews of people like backing this up, so it's fucking great to get this. And I've like, it's kind of like a joke with my buddies, like back in the day when women would say, "Oh, it's an amazing experience," and mentors, I'd see my mentors going, the women would be responding to them. I'm like, is this even real? Like, chicks be like, "Can't wait to see you again. As I said before, you're amazing in bed. That was phenomenal. It was the best experience. Oh my God, you're a god." All this shit. And I'm like, there is a sequential thing about learning actually how to do this. And for me now, man, it's like, as I said, like for me back in the day, I would just like sometimes spend 5 days in bed just practicing new things and just exploring, you know? That'd be like just like not having sex the whole time, but like, you know what, eating, having sex, exploring, eating, like that's all I do, you know? Like do that constantly. But that's the thing, that's why I was broke, man. And I was nearly in $40,000 debt, man. $40,000 debt because all I was doing is like finding mentors, investing, travel, learning from people, like, you know, funding my life, shit like this, man. That's why I was in like debt, because, and then I got myself out of it, and like we're really thriving now at SQL, but it wasn't always like the position I'm in, traveling the world, you know, doing all this shit and like having all this support with what we're doing, man. Like we've been like at the bottom. Like I never forget, I had to, back in the day, man, way back in the day, borrow $200 off my brother to fucking get like a rental car to go to like a warehouse job, just so because I'd have like odd jobs just so I can learn this shit back to front. And then like basically, like the thing is, it's like you can say like your audience is a little bit different, like the entrepreneurial fucking struggle of getting this to work because I was doing everything. And then when I just go, you know what, that's it. I'm just going to do sex because I was doing dating, relationships, and sexuality. And I go, I'm just going to focus on sex. And then I focused on sex, and I really had that strong message with what I'm doing. Everything changed. And going back to your question about the women stuff, 100%, bro. Like, you should just see, like, some of the girls, like, when I'm in bed with them, they go, you're going to give me the best experience you ever had, hey?
Oh, God.
What do you got, big boy? But the thing is, I have more pressure than most guys, and that the thing is, I have to do, like, basically my own techniques and stuff that I learned from my mentors so that I can relax my body, because if not, I'm fucking getting, like, really, like, I'm starting to, like, feel that tension, you know? So I'm still human. I still fuck up. There's times that I feel nervous, but the thing is, all it is I've just like trained my mind, trained my body, and do exercises. Basically, I have like sexual exercises, sexual calisthenics exercises that I do to really open up the body to like bring more blood. Like, in short, people like think I need to take pills and shit like that to really to get an erection. Basically, what's happening is like we're sitting down now for like over an hour, and how many times we sit down all day, and we're usually stagnating the blood flow down to our pelvis area. So it's just basically like getting blood flow back to that area with exercises just to open that up so you get better erections and shit like that naturally. And mine's just done all through natural stuff opposed to going, here's the fucking pill to use because the pharmaceuticals thing. And people are like, well, you're promoting your shit. Fucking oath I am, because it's a one thing. You do exercises, you do that opposed to putting harmful chemicals in your body like Viagra and all these other things that you don't know exactly. You haven't probably gone to a doctor. You haven't seen what your blood levels are, if it's actually good for your body or not, and you just take it like it's fucking candy because you get an erection, so then you feel good about yourself, so then you can have that woman maybe so you can see her again. It's a fucking vicious cycle.
That is a vicious cycle. And it's like, you're right. You have to question the other parts. What's your diet? Are you exercising daily? Like, do you work out? Like, do you have a good social friend group? All of these things definitely affect what you were saying. But going back a little bit, how you said you were 40K in debt, you know, now that I think about it, it's not that crazy because people go to college and rack up hundreds of $1,000s worth of debt and they don't even do shit with it. You're over here learning and now you're applying it. It's like, I don't know. It seems like you kind of won there. Like, it seems like the best kind of debt to be in when you're actually pursuing the thing you really want to pursue, whether or not it's socially taboo or not. Because I'm sure like your family and your friends are like, wait, what are you doing? You're going to go where? Or did you even hide that? Like, did you hide all this stuff while you were like going through it?
Dude, that's the thing. Like, generally, when you go, it's kind of like a double-edged sword as well. Like, you go to uni, I say college, universities for Australia. You go to college, same shit, and then like you get $100,000, $200,000 in debt, whatever it may be, maybe even more. And then you go, you might not even, you get a job, but you're not even guaranteed a job, and then you're meant to be getting like whatever salary it may be a year, you know? For me, I was plugging away at something that I had no idea if it's going to work. Like, for fuck's sake, man, I was teaching dudes how to have better sex. I never thought I'd be in this position at 29 years old teaching this, and how like well it's gone now. And like, as I said, getting international recognition and like running retreats around the world and like doing that, man. I never thought, I had blind faith that I just wanted to learn this stuff and then figuring out how to get this message to the world in the most articulate and the way that I did. And you know, it's so ironic. It's like, be authentic. Like, in the way, when I say this, I really want to be clear about this because people just throw that word around. For me, authenticity is basically how you've seen me on this podcast. I used to be like, hi, I'm Andrew Mioch. Today, I'm going to teach you about dating, and I'm going to show you the best way to do these things. That's not me. I swear, I'm loose around the edges. I say it as it is. I'm really challenging. I'm really intense, and I say it from a place because I'm passionate. I get lit up. I put on so much personas, so much bullshit, and the thing is, I dress like a fucking bum now, just like with a black tee. I don't think I've changed my t-shirt for 3 days. And the thing is, back in the day, I spent like $10K on suits just so I could like be professional and be that dude of what people wanted me to see me like. And I'm like, what is this crap? I go, that's not me. And then I'm like, I'm a loose dude who has a beard, and that's how I roll, man. And then I did that, and people felt that authenticity, and people are like, I like your message, dude. I'm like, what, by me being me, by me swearing and saying pussy and saying fuck and this is how you do it and how to get that angle? Because everyone is trying to sometimes like what everyone else is taken, but you're like, everyone else is taken, so why try and do that or some shit? I'm like, that's it. I be me. I say my sexual message. There's so many other people talking about sex. They're doing it their way. And the thing is, mine is even for like, I love it because it's like, it's more relatable to people. And that's how I am. I don't want to go down the tangents of like cosmic fucking divine, whatever. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Seventh chakra gate.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm about to ascend. I'm like, I love that stuff as well. As much as I give it shit, I love it, but I don't preach it because you know what? It's meeting people where they're at, and I love being able to speak the rawness about how I do things as well, like this, bro. So that's how that is.
I gotta say, the word pussy in an Australian accent just it takes the edge off. Like it just sounds a little smoother. Like you get like a little pass. Like when you say it, like it feels friendlier. I don't know why. Have you heard that before? Like I don't know why. It just seems like it just a little more smoother, like butter. You know, I feel like when an American says it, it's like abrasive, but when you say it, it's like poussoir. Like it's just like it just flows.
You're a funny fucker. Poussoir, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's like the French thing. I don't know. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Oh my god, dude. You just legit been blowing my mind for the past hour, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
What stood out for you, man? Like for you in particular?
You know, I was really curious, like what triggered you into this journey, and like what was that impetus for you, and like what exactly it was. And so it's really fascinating to hear you talk about, you know, because it could have been anything. Like it could have been like, because I've been telling friends like, yeah, I'm gonna interview this like sex expert. I'm really excited, you know, but like when they would talk about it, they kind of laughed. But I was like, no, like I meant like in like a human way, you know, like. But what fascinated me, I guess, is like I said, like what the origin story was. Like, and for you, it's very much like a pure, like not pure, but like a good place. Like it came from a place of wanting to help. Like you weren't some like sexually addicted person who was like broken and then fixed it and just wanted to become like a sex god. It was like it's more so about helping than it is about just being a rock star in the bedroom, which I think is nice and refreshing.
Yeah, actually, can I comment on that, man?
Please, man.
The thing is, I say is like when I first started this, like you know what, we all come like for myself. I'll speak about my journey. Like coming from a place of like sometimes a little bit of insecurity, not knowing who I am, really figuring out who I am in the world, and then come from a place of having lots of sex and like drugs and doing all that stuff, you know, and then like doing that stuff, and then like getting to the place running my own sex parties. But it was like, what am I gonna do, man? This was the epiphany I had. Cool, I have a sex party. I have like the woman who I love who's in front of me, and we're having an epic time. There's like 6 girls in the room, and there's like 4 of my best friends. And I'm looking around the room like, this is amazing. But then I go, what's next? Do I have 20 girls in the room? Do I have 40 girls in the room? Like, it's just it's that never-ending cycle. And I go, why am I doing this? Really having deeper thought into who I am and why I do certain things, man. That's what really was like, what is the real reason for doing this? And that's why I have the mission of like, so men can have mind-blowing sexual experience with women they care about. Because the thing is, man, I actually just found a tennis court around the corner from here. I am so fucking excited to play tennis on the weekend. And like, there's like these people like come to this fucking dance party and it's going to get really sexual and play. I'm like, I don't care about that. It's like, what I want to do, man, is like, I got a really beautiful woman I have a really great connection with. We have great sex. That is the pinnacle. When you find someone who you connect with deeply, the thing is, and you can have a great sexual connection. That is the pinnacle. I believe, unless you truly want to do it, not everyone stays in the sex party world and the sex scene world and all does all that stuff and does all the crazy shit. It's like you find someone who.
So it's not about hoeing around forever.
I believe it's not. I believe it's you can do that. What genuinely lights you up. It's like if you want to do that, don't shun like, oh, people who go to sex parties bad or have lots of sex. Like if you really want to do that, it's coming from that place. But at the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, what do I want to do and what do I want to explore sexually? And that's the thing is, I give people options. I don't tell people you have to do this. It's more about you. I just call them on their bullshit. And the thing is, people always say this, Andrew, I fucking hate you, but I love you. For example, man, I had a guy in a retreat after 20 years. He lost the love of his life, and then he on the retreat because we do some really deep shit. He goes, "Dude, I can finally love again." On these fucking, I'm getting goosebumps, man, just thinking about this because I can finally love again. This isn't just about like, yeah, I teach all the techniques how to like do all this shit right, but it's the foundation that's kind of tying into the masculinity stuff about how can I be a man of love and service and leadership and genuine care, man. That's fucking what it's about. And on another retreat, I had like this guy come in like, oh man, I know what I'm talking about. I don't say I love you to a woman. But the thing is, I could see past the facade. He had a big heart. He's coming in there like, I know what I'm talking. I know what to do, man. I'm pretty good in this area. I know I'm going to learn some cool stuff. So he came in with enough humbleness for me to allow him to come on the retreat. Then he finally came on. He's like, oh, no, I'm not going to say to my woman I love her. She has to say it first, because you know what? That's not a real man. A man doesn't say I love you first. You'll be surprised how many guys actually think that like they can't say I love you because it's like weakness and shit like this. And they're afraid.
Wow.
They're basically afraid. And you know what I did, man? On the retreat, he goes, oh, I'm not going to do this. And the thing is, because I'm a younger dude and he was like 45, and he was like having a chat with him. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. He's like, I kind of dropped the seat. I'm like, listen here, can I be 100% honest with you? He goes, yeah, dude, 100%. He goes, what's up? I go, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what you're talking about? He's always talking about being a man. You were talking about being a man and being fucking a strong leader. You know what? You're a weak little boy who is really scared of saying I love you because you're afraid of being vulnerable. You want to be a true fucking man? You tell this woman actually how you feel. And I know, do you love her? Yeah, I do. Then why are you afraid to say I love her? Because you're giving up your power. You're saying you're giving up your power because you're afraid of losing control, because you think you're falling in love. But how about you see it as you're rising in love and you're actually building a strong connection? And then I guarantee you, because we're on a sex workshop, that is when the sex is going to get 10 times better, because you actually love her, but you're playing these little boy games when you think you're a man. And you should have seen his face. He just looked at me, and then...
it's called him on his bullshit before.
A big grown man with 5 kids who has his new partner, and then he just started bawling his eyes out, and he goes,
wow.
Like bawling, man. And he goes, thank you so much. I need to hear that. Because the thing is, I'm not doing that to everyone. Don't get me wrong. Some guys need to hear that like bluntness, and I'm willing to say that. And then he goes, dude, I said I love you. We came back. We had the most amazing sex, and it wasn't this ground and pound. It was just loving, gentle, and sensual, and we just really felt that. And that's how men can fundamentally have the best sex of their lives, because of the depth of the emotional and sexual connection that's formed through brutal truth and honesty and transparency with your partner. That's the
exactly
key.
What it is. Yeah, it's like men are we're so scared to be emotional creatures. Like you got to be man, masculine, keep it in, be tough. Just like that guy thought, like that masculine archetype. But it's like, no, you can be like feminine sometimes. You can have some feminine energy sometimes. It's the balance of it all.
That's softness. The thing is, the other night I was with my partner. I was in bed, man. I was watching a movie. Actually, the movie I Origins. Have you seen that movie?
I Origins?
Oh, dude, you would love that. Your personality. You'd look at the movie I Origins. It's I, like just like the letter I, then Origins. It's absolutely phenomenal, dude. At the end of that movie, I was profusely crying in front of my partner, because the thing is, it really opened up my heart. And that's the thing is, I want to give a shout out to my man DeMartini, Dr. John DeMartini. He's like a human behavioral expert. Like I said, you go look him up. He's phenomenal as well, guys. He runs huge retreats around the world. He's been doing this stuff for 56 years or 60 years or something like that. But what I do is I follow my tears of inspiration. And what that means is I'm following where my heart gets opened up, and then I fucking cry. Before I was like, this is some weird fucking I don't want to do this. This is some weak thing to do. But the thing is, I get goosebumps and I have my tears, and that's how I can speak with so much, I can speak with so much enthusiasm. I can speak with so much truth, and I just don't mind what people think, because you know what? I really genuinely want to make that change, and that's where it comes out when I'm talking to people on these podcasts, and I can say it as it is, man. So it's been really fucking beautiful to have this chat with you today. And when I follow my tears and I get lit up and I feel like this goosebumps, I know I'm making, and it's so when I get people sending me messages, but then I get also the women of the partners send me messages. That's next level shit, man. I got about a dozen of those. No, sorry, I got about nine of those messages from women, because I always keep the testimonials. So then I always refer back to them if I'm having a down day about something, and I always read that. This is why I'm doing what I do,
dude. 100%. It's you definitely probably get more than I do, but the few times that I do get someone writing me from some value that they gotten from this podcast, it makes me feel so good that day. It gives me goosebumps, and I just feel so driven and centered in my purpose. I'm like, oh man, that one person got it. It's all worth it. It's worth the setup. It's worth the hassle. It's worth all that stuff that people don't see, that all that work you put into it. It's that feedback is great. And it's validating in a way, but by helping other people, it's just a good feeling, especially someone who helps someone like you do. It's from a, just making people feel again and just be themselves and figure out who they really are. It's so sick.
That's the thing. Like in short, what I'm doing, man, it's like helping men feel the peak amount of sexual pleasure that they can, and be able to get their partner to feel the peak amount of sexual pleasure and consistently do that. That's what I love, man. Like that's the simplicity. And I think with all this, there's a lot of other sexuality companies and people who talk about sex, they oversimplify all this stuff. And it's so confusing. Like anything, like any industry, really, when you haven't looked into it. But I just try and pull the veil back on what sexuality really means. As I said, because it's like more of an arty show. It's like two bodies moving in a rhythmic dance and being able to fully express your sexual needs and desires. And that's the thing. There's three levels of consciousness when it comes to sexuality. Usually it's the dude's first level is like, I'm just doing this to please me. I just want to get off and get in, get out as quick as I can. And then the thing is, you're not really satisfied as a dude. You think you are. The woman's definitely not satisfied. She's not going to come back. The second level is this.
Yeah, you're like, haha, I got that nut. You tell your boys, I smashed, but it's like, man, well, you know.
What are you doing, man? So that's the first level. Most guys are stuck there. The second level is this. It's like, I'm doing this to please the other woman. And that's also like a bit of a trap, because what it is like, they're doing this so much. Like, I want to please a woman so badly so that she'll stay in my life. And this is constant, like the validation loop of like, I'm just doing this because I want to have sex with her really good, so then she'll like stay with me. And they're doing it from an insecure place. And that's like the second level. Sometimes guys will just like go straight to that level, or they might not come from that place of like, I just want to do it for me. But they're not just doing it for themselves, but they're just doing it to please the other woman. But that's another insecurity. So some guys come, that's why I see the like progression of some guys that come on the events. They actually go, and I see where they're at. And they go, I just want to please a woman. I go, why is that? What about your pleasure? They go, no, I just want to please a woman. So I meet them there, and I challenge them a bit, and then they get that clarity on that. The third stage is the paradox, which I want guys to do. You're doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for them. That is the paradox, like going, knowing what you like. And there's a triangle that I teach. It's like your sexuality, understanding what you like. Because as we know, with all personal development stuff, it always starts with you. Your sexuality always starts with you, about what you like, what you don't like, what you want, and what you want to express, and how you like it, and what you want to do in the bedroom. Second part is hers, understanding her sexuality, what she likes, what she doesn't like, and what she doesn't want to do, and then really getting her full container to openly express her sexuality. And the third part is our sexuality, how it actually combines together so your body's moving that rhythmic dance, because you've got clear on yours and hers, and that's like a flow-on effect to the third point. And then that third progression where we're at here, it's like some days you might be in the bed and you're like really taking her, and she's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, babe, tonight I just really want to take you and grab your shoe because you get to be fully expressed. Or another guy, or the second part is like, she's like, babe, I want you to do this to me, so you got that. Or another night it's like, maybe it's just like both of you just like playing, exploring, and expressing. You get to have like that even keel of that beautiful dance back and forward with the sexuality. And that's when I see it's beautiful. And I see a huge mistake, and I'll wrap this point up in a second, man, if that's cool. It's like, I see a big fuck up that guys make is this. Say you meet a girl for the first time on Tinder, or you meet her through a mutual friend, or wherever you meet her. Yeah, whatever. You meet this woman. When you first meet her, you go on a date, and then you have sex for the first time. And because you don't really know this woman, you don't really care. What usually happens, like care in the respect of like what she really thinks about you, like long term. You're like, it doesn't really matter. I'm just like gonna have sex, and it might progress to something, it might not, but it's all cool. I'm gonna allow myself to be more expressed. What happens is you're both more expressed, and you know how you have like this epic honeymoon fucking sex, and you're like doing all this crazy shit. You might be seeing each other for a month, but then what happens is you kind of like each other, then you kind of like say, well, like I really, really like you, then you go, I love you, and then like progresses from there. What I see is a bad progression. Is that guys, the more, and women do this as well, but I'll just say for the men who are listening, what they end up doing is, at the start, you're having all this epic sex, and you're like trying all these new things, because you're like, cool, it's just some chick that I just don't really know, I'll try all these things, I'm willing to say that. The thing is, great sex is this, willing to say the things that most men aren't willing to say, and willing to ask the hard questions from her in regards to the bedroom that most men aren't willing to ask. So it's like saying what you want, and asking her what she wants, and asking those hard questions that you're sitting in that tension. So you're doing that, and then what ends up happening, bro, is this. The more that you sometimes, guys, fall in love with this person, or fall in like, love, and then in love, what ends up happening is they go, oh, this is now like my girlfriend, like my proper girlfriend. I can't be doing that crazy shit what we'll do when we first met. But they're doing this so unconsciously, because they go, I don't want my woman to be a slut and do that crazy shit we'll do at the start. So they start shutting her down sexually, and they're shutting her down because they're falling in love, because they go, I don't see her as the girl I just met anymore. I see her as like maybe potentially my girlfriend or my wife, my like long-term girlfriend, or the mother of my
Like you got
children.
to treat her more wholesome now or something. Like you have to like
Yeah.
be more respectable because suppressing your sexuality is respectable.
Yeah, so they're doing that. They're being more respectful. But then the thing is that attraction and that connection is getting fucking decimated because you're doing that. And the connection that you've built was at the start on that sexual connection, and you're getting to know each other. So it's inside the bedroom, like all that connection, or doing that crazy stuff and being fully expressed. And outside the bedroom, you're going her wants, her dreams, her fears, her desires, and stuff like that. You're understanding those things. Then if you start shutting down the sexuality, it's a huge part of who she is. Because if not, basically sexuality is your best friend who you fuck. And if you just take away your if you take away the sexuality component, you're just bros hanging out. And the thing is, that's when it's going to be killed. And so many relationships go like that.
I'm gonna tell my homie that, hey, bro, you know, the difference between us being romantic is we're just not having sex.
I love you, man. You know, like that's it.
No, but I don't want to detract from your point. Dude, that's an amazing, like, you've put a lot of thought into that, and that's literally like the timeline of that problem is it's hot, passionate, and then it just fizzles out. And it's like I can imagine how many dudes you've told that to who've just had their mind blown, and they're like 20 years in their marriage, like, oh, that's me.
Dude,
shit.
The reason that came to an epiphany because I realized that there was this guy on a retreat, and he was saying that thing. He goes, I'm engaged to this woman, and the sex has kind of died out. He goes, what was it like at the start? And then he started explaining. It was like hot, passionate. We're doing all this crazy shit. But then he goes, and then he like started telling me, and I go, you know what you've done? The more you've fallen in love with her, the more you've shut her down sexually. And he's like this.
Ooh. Oh no!
Fuck! And he's just yelling on the retreat. I'm like, fuck! I knew it. He called his partner out. And he's like, baby, you know how much I love you. And he's like, yeah, I love you too. They know they love each other dearly. But he's like, I have done this, and I am so sorry, man. Fuck, I wish I could show you the goosebumps I'm getting now, mate. Fuck, I love this shit.
Oh man!
Dude, he's like, dude. I am so sorry. She's like, what's wrong? What have you done? He's like, baby, I'm sorry. And she's thinking like, fuck, is he cheating on me? Like, because she knows that he's at the sexuality retreat. And he's just like, baby, I have been shutting you down because I love you too much. And she's like, what? Because the thing is, when we first met, we're doing this, and you have such you have such an explorative side to your personality. But the thing is, I really want you to keep opening up about that because that's what I really loved. And I kept trying to do things to please you in the bedroom, but I wasn't getting my sexual needs fulfilled. And then we got into this rhythm, then we got stuck, and then like we stopped exploring and dating each other sexually, and then like that rhythm. So that basically the curse was broken. And then he goes, dude, you have changed my life forever with our sexuality because now we get that stuck place. We always bring it back to they call it a sex date. So they go on instead of just going for like a date and talk about like life, they just go on a date and they just talk about their sex life, which is so important. If you're a man watching this with your partner, at least once a fortnight, go on a sex date with your partner and just go out for dinner or go to somewhere secluded and just be able to talk about your sex life openly and really just talk about that. Don't talk about the kids, the weather, all that shit, or work. You're not allowed to have those conversations at the table because both of you at the dinner seducing each other like you were when you first met, and both of you go out there and dress up sexy. Maybe you might want to wear a suit so you can wear her most elegant dress, because every woman has an elegant and sexy dress that she's waiting for that special occasion. You as the man be that leader, and that's where dominance steps in and go, babe, tonight we're going out. I want you to wear your sexy dress and I want you to go to town. I really can't wait to take you out. I can't wait to see you really, really dressed up.
Damn, dude, you're like not only making men change their bed sheets more because girls are squirting all over them. You're like fixing lives and like changing people's. Fuck, it's so cliche, but like you're changing people's lives with this stuff. Like I didn't really think it was that powerful, but it really is now that like we've talked about this and you put it into so much context. I'm like, damn, like you're saving marriages, bro. Like tell them to send you that divorce fee or something. That's crazy.
Yeah, I get 3% of all divorce fees in America. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we're probably gonna be going 2 hours. I know you're a really busy man, but real quick, can I just ask one or two very ignorant questions because I have the honor of being on the line with a sex coach or a sex educator?
Please, man.
Okay, first one. Have you ever met a girl who made you go, what the fuck? Like who was like so crazy sexually that you were just like, what the fuck am I dealing with here? Has that ever happened?
Yeah, man. Do you know what it is? Like, people always ask me, what's my crazy sexual experiences? What's the most epic shit that I've done and stuff like that? Do you know the craziest?
Oh, damn it. I did it.
Yeah. It's awesome. Do you know what it is? It's like, I've had some girls like do some like wild requests and stuff like that, which is awesome. But the thing is, what I see is like, guys, like, where are all these women who have all these like wild requests or feel so open about their sexuality? Where have they always been? I'm like, they've always been around you. You've usually just suppressed them or made them feel judged or not accepted about their sexuality.
Fact.
When you truly get comfortable with your sexuality, that's why I always say it starts with you. All these women are actually right around you. And that's the thing. They all have that deep inside them. Basically, what it is to allow them to give that full expression. And then you're going to hear the most epic fucking crazy shit. So bringing it back to your audience, like, give her that full permission that nothing she can say is going to be weird or unusual in the bedroom. Like, if she says something to you that, like, she goes, oh, I really like it when you, like, pour wax on me and then, like, then you, like, say, like, whatever. She's like, I really like when you pour wax on me and wear a red beanie. Whatever. It's just out of my random thing. And don't judge a chick. Just, if it's a little bit strange, you don't have to be like just stone faced like, that's cool, I don't expect that. You can be like, whoa, that's cool, I've never heard that before, like, tell me more, I'm kind of curious about that. So what you do, you're coming from a place of curiosity instead of like judgment. And then that's when it gets a woman to open up, so then she can start saying what she likes, and you start realizing, and you're starting to like be curious, like, yo, what do you like, what turns you on, haven't you told someone before that you really would like to explore? And then, yeah, man, I've had like heaps of chicks like say all this stuff because I'm genuinely curious. The reason that I get chicks like, and the clients I work with get the chicks saying that they're really great in bed and having these amazing experiences, because I said this before, is because I'm willing to say the hard things that no one's willing to say, and ask the hard questions that no one's willing to ask. So it's like being curious about her sexuality and saying what I fucking want. And then when I can do that, that is
you flipped that question so well. God dang it, Andrew. You've gotten that too many times. I fucked up with that question. I should have seen that one coming. Okay.
What one?
Ignorant question number 2, real quick.
All right. So didn't I answer your question?
You did. Ignorant question number 2. Have you ever taken a dump on a girl? Like, have you ever dropped a log on someone? I'm just kind of curious.
Not yet, man. When I do, you'll be the first to know. We'll do a podcast all about that episode, right? From the start to finish.
Okay, and last one. I said to get out. Last one. Is there an ultimate position? Like, is there the best position? Is that a thing? Is there like one ultimate one that's like the thing? In your experiences from all the crazy sex you've had, is there one ultimate experience that is like, this is it? If you had one to do the rest of your life, I would do this one.
Yes, I do. Ready, guys?
What is it?
The ultimate position is there is no ultimate position.
Oh my God. I knew that was going to happen, dude.
You knew it.
Fuck.
But you know what? I will give you a sick position that is really cool, but then I'll just break this down for a sec. The thing is, everyone's looking for all these fucking crazy positions and the best fucking thing to do and like having like these crazy positions. But the thing is, that is all crap if you don't have the connection with the girl and you're not really getting her to open up and be sexually explored. Basically, everything we've discussed today. But I do want to give you an insane position that I absolutely fucking love, because I know it's just like it's good just to throw on here.
Let's go, baby.
Now, but the thing is, if you don't have all that other stuff sorted, it's going to feel shit. The depth of your sexual connection is going to be the connection that you have with the woman. So say that's all sorted. Say you got this, my man. You got this chair here. I love sitting on a chair. I love sitting on a chair like this, yeah?
Underwear. You're in your underwear. I love it.
I'm in my shorts, but it looks like underwear. I'm wearing underwear, guys. Okay. I don't usually, but it's okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
But even if here we are. Imagine like the opening scene is just this, mate. Me and you. So, I love doing this. I love, personally, having a chair like this and having a chick straddled around like this. So then what you could do as well is she should be straddled like this, sitting on top. You can grab from the back here, from her back, pull her there close, and then what you can do is like really move, and she can move. What you can also do is her legs will be like this, for example. So then what you can do is grab under her legs, so then you're holding her like this, and then you can start moving her in that position. And the thing is, sometimes girls just like to be like, some guys think that girls just like to be fucked like this, but not necessarily always true. Sometimes girls like the feeling where you're pushing in and you're just moving your hip and your pelvis, because it really moves up and shakes up a lot of things inside of her pussy. So she's like in that position again. and then all of a sudden you can have your arms under, so it goes really deep. And this is also because some guys have that insecurity about having a small cock sometimes. It goes really deep. You can pop up your pelvis a little bit more forward, and then you have her there, and you got that thing. And then what's really great from this position, because you're holding under her ass cheeks like this, and her legs are kind of like dangling over the side here, and you can start moving her like that, and it feels really good. Then after that happens, man, she's in that position, she's sitting there. You can just imagine. I call this the caveman. So the caveman, she wants to feel that
caveman,
your brute force. So you're holding her like this, and then you're like squatting her. So this is why guys always make sure you don't bend your back when you're doing your squats. This is why the only reason I go to the gym is so I can pick up chicks. That's the only, like literally.
Facts. That is a fact right there.
That's why all guys go to the gym. So then you've got the chick here, and you pick her up like that, and then you've got her here, and her legs are wrapped around you, and you can actually throw her on like this and move her down like that. It takes a bit of strength, but guys, you don't need to do that position. I just wanted to throw something fun because it's more of a fun podcast today. You do that shit, and what happens psychologically, the woman feels your brute strength of picking her up from the chair after you've done this position, and it really fucking goes, this is a fucking man, and I am turned on, and it feels so good.
Note taken. I'm gonna try the goddamn caveman next time.
Yeah.
That is some big facts, dude. Thank you for that, man. I didn't have to pay you for that. You're a fucking boss, dude. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, brother. You're welcome.
Dude, you're changing lives already, man. But dude, I really appreciate you having on the show, man. It's been an awesome conversation. You're such a cool dude.
Appreciate it, man. It's been fucking amazing being here, man. It's been really fun as well, dude. Thank you for allowing me to be my authentic self and just be completely transparent about everything.
And likewise, thank you for changing my life. And real quick before we go, I will have anything you want me to link in the description of the YouTube video, but what is the name of your channel, or where would you like people to go if they want to connect with you or to get more information?
Cool, man. The best place, I always say this, guys, if you really enjoyed this podcast, I have tons of free stuff. I have my podcast, Sexual Quantum Leap. You can get on that on Spotify, and then also, where is that? SoundCloud. Also the YouTube, sexualquantumleap.com, Sexual Quantum Leap, or just go to sexualquantumleap.com. And as I said, go check out all my free stuff. And if that really resonates with you, fuck, this is really cool shit, and I want to take it to the next level, then hit myself up or hit Bruce up, and we can have a chat, and I can guide you in the right direction of stuff in the future. But on the website at the moment, we actually have something. It's like the pussy massage. This is actually where shit started, man. It was a pussy massage. So basically, I teach guys actually don't finger a chick anymore. You want to learn how to give them a pussy massage. So it's like Pulp Fiction. Foot massage? No, it's a motherfucking pussy massage. So what you can do is go over to Sexual Quantum Leap. You can download your free pussy massage guide and learn how to give women multiple orgasms with your hands. It's nothing that you've seen before, and I'm actually breaking it down in 3 sequential videos on how you can actually implement some stuff tonight. So if you do that and you really give a woman an insane experience, I'd love to hear from you. So that's what I offer to you guys today. So yeah, as I said, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys having me, and thank you, Bruce, for this amazing interview.
Of course, man. You're a goddamn legend. You're a goddamn legend. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's the angle. Peace out. Until next time. Let me stop the recording.